Hello, everyone, and welcome to the class. This is David A. Cox with TechTalkAmerica.com, and today I am so happy to be able to share with you one of my favorite little apps for the iPhone and also iPad called Replay. Now, if it sounds familiar, Replay has been featured before at some of Apple's keynote events. It's a fantastic little app. You download it right through the App Store. It's free. I actually had it here just a moment ago. Here we go. Replay. And you can see what the little logo looks like. There it is. It is a free app. There are some in-app purchases, but they're really inexpensive, and I actually tend to think that they're worth it many of the time. So I'm going to show you today how to use it, go over who it's perfect for. So let's rock and roll. So I'm going to tap on the app right here at the bottom of my screen. And if I was going to try to nail down who is this app perfect for, parents, you've got to be it. Here's the reason why. A lot of you out there go on vacation with your kids, your families, and you create all these amazing memories. You also tend to have your iPhone or iPad with you, is my guess. Well, here's the way Replay works. Next time you go on a trip, bring those devices, of course, and shoot a ton of little video clips. And please, everyone, use it in landscape mode. Don't have your phone upright like this. Have it landscape mode on the side. That's the absolute best way to capture video and also photos. So you shoot all these little video clips, and then what it does is you basically tell Replay, hey, these are my clips for my trip, and it will just do this incredible job at stitching it into this little video montage, complete with special effects, transitions, and even music. So let's go over how to do it. I actually want to show you real quickly an example of what it can do. So my apologies, there's going to be probably a little bit of a lag in the video because of how I record these classes. So my apologies if it breaks up a little bit. But we recently had, as you can see here on my screen, we had a little flower show here in town. And I brought my phone. I just did this as a volunteer thing for the town to show a little support. And I just did exactly what I'm telling you to do. I shot a ton of little short 3 to 5 second video clips. And this is what I was able to produce. Oops, sorry, play. So you kind of get the idea. It added all of those special effects on its own where it, went black and white, where it zooms in and out. All of that is part of the app, and it's so easy. Anyone out there can do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a short little video right now with all of you. So the first thing you're going to do when you open up the app is hit the little red video button, and that is going to take you to your photo library. So here I have just a bunch of quick little video shots that I've taken around town. You can see the difference between photo and video because the video has this little icon here. It also gives me the time. I tend to think the perfect length for a lot of these clips is going to be, again, 3 to 5 seconds. If you go over, no problem. So let's just tap on a bunch of them. Okay, let's get that in there. And I think we're pretty much good to go. So normally with a real project, you probably have more clips than this, but I'm just doing this as a demonstration. I'm going to hit OK, and just from doing that, it's going to immediately create a video. Shoot. This is one little, actually I'm kind of glad that did happen because this is one little issue I've had with Replay, which is that it will occasionally crash. The good news is it auto saves. So at least if it does happen to you, you don't have to pull your hair out, you don't have to scream. It's okay, it auto saves. So let me hit play for you so you can kind of see just right off the bat, here's what it did. So that one was kind of pretty simple, pretty boring, not really a lot of transitions. So this is where we get into adding these different styles, these different effects. So the first thing I want to bring your attention to is down here at the very bottom part of the screen. And by the way, I got here by clicking on this little magic wand here. So this is the overall style that you're going to be using. Currently, we've been using this style called Grammy. Some of these styles are free. Some of them you do have to pay for. But what's nice is you can see a preview of it before you buy it. Those are usually right around $3 or so, depending on which one you buy. Sometimes you can buy a package. So compare what you just saw to just me switching over to Dandy. So you can see it totally changes the overall feel of the video. Let me go over a few other aspects here. Next thing we have here is this little movie icon. Let's tap on that, and that brings us into edit mode. So for example, I can move these shots around. Some of those shots, especially the ones here at the beginning, were a little bit on the long side, so I can start to trim them. Let me show you how to do that. So let's start with the first shot here. It's currently 9 seconds long. Way too long. Let's tap on that. We get all these different options here. Trim. By default, every clip is going to be muted. You are not going to hear the audio unless you tap on it again. At that point, what it will do is it will fade down the music so that you can hear the audio from the actual video clip. Next here, we have titles. Duplicate. So for whatever reason, if you need the same shot twice, I don't really know why, but that's how you can do that. If you decide, you know what, maybe not so much, you can trash it with hitting that little trash icon. So for now, let's go in and trim this little baby. And I'm just going to drag these bars at the bottom in. It's basically a pretty steady shot. So I'm just going to make it 1 second long and hit the little checkbox at the top. If you do want to play the clip without any cuts, notice here at the very bottom, it says play this clip without cuts. So let's hit OK. All right, let me just do the same thing here too, just a couple of the other shots here. Okay, once again, just keeping it well paced, nice and quick. And when you do this, you're going to be using a lot more video than I am. Okay, so that's probably decent for right now. It's not a bad shot there. I love this one here of the kayaks. Let's go in. And forgive me, the video is not totally keeping up with me. So when you're done, hit that little checkbox at the top and immediately start to play. Once again, a little preview for you. The next little button we have here is the music, okay? So you can use different types of music in your project, okay? It's going to, by default, bring in the music that's associated with the theme that you've chosen. But if you want to change it, just hit Change Music down here. So you can choose music from a different theme. You'll see they have a whole bunch of different options here. You can kind of scroll through. Again, we've got a little bit of a video delay. There we go. You can also pull in music from your phone. So any music that you have in iTunes, for example, you can pull into this project. Which brings me to a very important part that you should be thinking about before you start your project. What you do with your video will determine what music you can use. For example, if I try to put, let's say, a Katy Perry song to this video, it is not going to allow me to post that video to Facebook because that song is copyrighted. If you need good copyright music, copyright-free music, there's this little website. I use it all the time. You'll find a link in the description of the video. In fact, I really prefer it if you use that link because we do get a small amount if you do use it and purchase it, called Audio Jungle. They have just thousands and thousands and thousands of songs. For those of you who happen to follow some of my little drone videos that I've shot over the years, that's where I get my music, or at least the majority of it. So pick your music with caution, and just remember, if you use copyrighted music, then you're not going to be able to post it to Facebook. I'll give you some more tips on how to post your video to the web when we're done here. Next button we have here is the little wrench icon. And that is to change things like the format and the pacing. So before you necessarily go and trim all of the shots to get to the perfect length that you want, you might first want to consider going here into the wrench and go to pacing. So basically every video can either be done faster, normal, or slower. Right now it says "ower," but it says slower. Usually I like to keep things paced on more the quick side. It keeps people interested, keeps people engaged, and especially with video that you tend to post to Facebook, usually you only have people's attention spans for about 1 to 2 minutes, so I like to keep it nice and short and sweet. When you choose your pacing, hit the checkbox. Also, format options. By default, with some of these themes, it's going to end up being a square. Why would you want a square? The only real reason I can think of is if you are trying to create videos for Instagram, because Instagram uses a square format. Otherwise, do cinema. And like I said, folks, please, please, when you shoot your videos, shoot it in landscape mode. It'll absolutely look best. Now, when you're done with your video, you can go here to save at the very top right corner. And you can see here, it does have a whole bunch of options for Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. My advice is to not use any of those. The reason why is how social sharing works, especially in the case of Facebook. So let me give you an example. If I take two identical videos and one I upload to YouTube and then I take a link to that YouTube video and share it to Facebook, it is not going to get nearly the amount of views had I uploaded the video directly to Facebook. The problem with this app is that if you use this feature here, it is basically creating a web link to their website with your video instead of you actually going direct to Facebook. I hope it wasn't too confusing. The advice that I would like to give you is instead of doing any of these options here, save it to photos. That way it's in your phone's camera roll. It'll be under videos. And with a lot of apps with a lot of videos, I've noticed that the first frame is actually white. So just don't let that throw you should you see, oh my God, where's my video? So hit save to photos, go into your camera's photo library, and from there, share it to Facebook or whatever service you should want to send it to. One last thing I realized I actually left out here, forgive me, is I'm going to go actually back here into the little edit button here. The one feature I forgot to mention is that you can move shots around. And the way that it originally places everything is it's the order of when you saw me tapping on the various clips to initially bring it in from the camera roll, that determines the order. But if you want to move it later on, you can just simply press and hold with your finger and just drag up and down. You can move the shot wherever you want. Okay, so I can move the shot to the bottom instead of from the top. So that right there is Replay. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we do greatly appreciate it. If you hit that little thumbs up, like button, tell your friends about Tech Talk America. We are a completely free online service. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. It's the way you can be notified when we come out with new content. And check us out on Facebook. All those good links, of course, in the description of the video. This is David A. Cox with Tech Talk America. Class dismissed.